much, but I'm Dr. Allison, and I'm the chair for the center. Kevin in the back right there, he's running our online, and he is our director of programming and operations. We also have a lot of student assistants in the room, some of which are entrepreneurs themselves and starting their own businesses. But since we have such a big diversity of how many times you've been here and things like that, some of you, it's your first time in here, I'm going to show you the software as we use it for the executive summary and the pitch area. So today's session is about kind of the wrap up. So for some people, it's your first time with us. It's okay. You can learn it. Some of you have popped in along the way. For anybody who is interested in having their own live plan access, all you have to do is send me an email or come up to me right afterwards. I send you an email from Live Plan that says you've been invited. We set up your company. You're ready to go. It's free of charge to use this software, and it's going to blow your mind for those of you who have not seen this. You can ultimately write a business plan in a couple of hours. If you have your idea, especially if you already are progressing through your business and you have financials to import or anything like that. But even if you don't, if it's brand new, you can do this in a matter of a couple of hours. Okay. So what we're going to do today is the executive summary, which it's at the beginning of the business plan. So you would think you'd write it first, but you don't. You actually write it last. Because what it does is it takes areas of your business plan all along and you consolidate it so that if you're bringing it to an investor or you're bringing it to the bank or you're even among your own employees, you can show them this executive summary, which is about a page, maybe two. And then from there, they can say, yeah, this is something we want to progress further with. Or they can say, this isn't really what we do. This isn't right up our alley, but thank you. You know, so it's a way that they can read something sort of smaller and understand whether it's something they're looking at or not. So when you look at the executive summary, you're going to see a lot of the areas that we already talked about. So in the very beginning, when we talked about looking at the opportunity, remember we said you should always be trying to solve a problem with your product. If you're not solving something, you might not be even needed at this point. You should be solving something. You're filling some sort of gap somewhere. So that's why if we start with the problem and then say, here is the solution, and it's the only sensible solution, now your business plan is so much stronger. And when you go to give that presentation to an investor and say, you know, this is a problem that a lot of people face. Here are the facts about how many people face this. Here's what we propose as the solution. Our company can fulfill this need. So we've already done all that, and we did it elaborately throughout the plan. So now it's just about taking it smaller. So again, we had the marketing area. When we talked about the company, we talked about the equipment and tools. I know AI, we were just talking about that a little while ago. The people involved, the structure, and we already looked at our finances. So all of this now is in here for us to go back to the executive summary and fill in some gaps. Okay, so the other day I actually did the problem area. Let's take it to our competition for this because we haven't quite hit that area. So the company that we're going to use for this one, the Bounce Back Bath and Body. I'm sure many of you have heard it many, many times. So just as a recap, it solves the need of travelers who need muscle recovery items for their bath. And the solution is Bounce Back Bath and Body, which are convenient for travel. They, they are non-medicinal. They don't smell and things like that. So if I'm going to go and say, okay, let's address our competition. And we already did it, so we've identified who our competition is going to be. We're going to do it in a much more succinct way right now in our executive summary. Okay? So in case you haven't seen this yet, this software, you're going to be blown away right now. Because what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, Live Plan Assistant, I can type all I want right now, or I can say, help me write. And let me get rid of some of the stuff I was typing in before. Okay. So who are my competitors? So we said, let me go back and say, direct competitors, Dr. Teal's, What other direct competitors might be in this market? I guess just regular Epsom salts, like unbranded Epsom salts. Ah, Vicks, yeah. Okay, so we've got that there. Those are my direct competitors. Alternatives, because remember, not all the time are there direct competitors you have to worry about. Maybe it's sometimes indirect. Like, okay, so some alternatives are just an ice bath. Maybe, you know, there are people who do that. Massage.
The prescription medication.
Oh, prescription. Okay.
I'm thinking Bengay.
Okay. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Those are some pretty good, you know, we've mentioned the alternatives. And we've mentioned the oops. Well, it'll correct itself, I'm sure. Okay, all I've got to do now is generate my draft. It's going to give us what it thinks we should put in the executive summary portion. I see you shaking your head. Isn't that amazing? And guess what? This writes it better than I ever could. I have a PhD and I can't do this. Okay? Right. Sometimes you get a little too close to your own products to know what you should be writing, and you throw all kind of stuff in there that shouldn't be there. Okay, so our main competitors, oh, it even highlighted for us. And it knew Vicks was Vapor Rub. Yes. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Okay, so our main competitor is Dr. Teal. That is absolutely the main competitor. We also indirectly compete indirectly with ice baths, massage, prescription muscle relaxers. Our advantage is providing an at-home solution that's more convenient and affordable. I didn't even tell it to do that. But remember, we've been adding all this into the plan. It knows this business as well as I know this business at this point. Okay? So we say, okay, yeah, I obviously read the whole thing, make sure I agree. You can edit it. But as soon as I say insert it in the plan, it's in there now. Oops. We're ready. Yay, we get a little celebration. Close. That is now a part of our business plan. Okay. So again, what I'm going to do right now, just for those who haven't seen the fun that can happen, we're going to download this. We've already kind of come up with a PDF format that we want to put this in. So it's assembling a PDF for us right now of a business plan that we've been working on the entire term. And you can see now when it puts in, and a lot of areas are still blank. Now, if I was ready, if somebody called me and said, you need to present today in 1 hour, you can say, do not print all the blank placeholders. And it would take those out of there for you. So that you would still have something that you put together and looks concise and looks professional. And we've written this, and most of this was done. Remember, we've only met 4 times on this. Okay, all of this. Financial plan, if we had it in here right now, would be showing all our graphs and everything, which we did have under one of the other businesses we worked on. Okay, so executive summary is simply taking everything we've been working on all this time and consolidating it. The way I used to teach it before we had all these fun tools, I would say, take a section, consolidate it into 1 paragraph. Take a section, consolidate it into 1 paragraph. This will help us to kind of, you know, fancy it up a good bit. But you can do it just by thinking section by section, reduce, make it concise to where I could read it quickly and make my decision of whether I want to go on into the business plan. So before I show you anything more, you may have questions up to this point, especially if you haven't seen any of this yet. Any questions at all? Yes.
Will it find my competitors when I input my product?
So if you don't know your competitors at all, I would be wary of what it gives you. I would take it and say, oh, let me look them up and see if they're really my competitors. Because earlier I was playing with it, and when I put in the 4 different things but didn't say they were direct competitors, it messed up a bit. So but by the point that you're putting things into a business plan, hopefully you will know what who some of your competitors are. If you just generate it, verify. You know that whole thing, trust but verify? verify that those are really competitors in your market and really competitors for what you do. I mean, it did add some things on there that, oh yeah, I never even thought about that. That could be indirect or direct competitors, but for the most part, by this point, hopefully if you're developing a concept, you need to know who your competitors are. You should know your competitors so well that you know their products, because you need to know if you're duplicating, making it better, something along those lines. Yeah, but it'll give you ideas.
Could you change the template, or does it
Yes.
have to look like?
No. You can change the template. So right here, you can change the actual format. Say yes, I want a cover page, or I don't want a cover page. You can change all sorts of things right here. So and this is where you would also take care of if you don't want something listed to have it in, to take it out. Okay, so no other questions yet. Perfect. So the other day, I started playing with the pitch tool on here now too. So we haven't covered pitch as much as I would have liked this year. We had some good lessons on it especially from WeBank. They did some great stuff, but even that, by the time it came to the pitch, it was like, whoa, I still don't feel ready. So that's one of the things we want to offer more is the pitch. But if you don't know what a pitch is, it is literally having to go to for whatever purpose. It could be for investors, it could be for the bank, it could be for getting on a partner, lots of reasons you might pitch a business. And you want to be ready with multiple durations of pitch, because we have what's called the elevator pitch. Imagine you get in on the first floor of a building in New York City and you're going all the way to the top. You get about a minute to do your pitch. That's it. And in that time, you don't want to talk really fast to try to get the whole thing out. That's not the whole purpose of having a minute-long pitch. It's so that you could go up to somebody and say, hi, my name is Portia, and this is my business. This is what I need from you. Done. Boom. Okay. If you watch Shark Tank, you see a much longer pitch. Okay. That's a pitch as well. There's another show that I watched a little bit, or actually I was listening to podcasts, elevator pitch, but it was a little bit longer. What they were trying to do was do the elevator pitch, and then that would open the doors or not to go into the room to do more of the Shark Tank pitch. Oh, so it was a pretty cool podcast I was listening to while traveling. So you want to be able to have that 60-second pitch, because you never know who you're sitting next to. You never know who's in the room with you. You never know when you're networking what opportunities you have. Okay, so you always want to have that quick one. You also want to have longer ones. Damien recently competed last week in a competition where, how long did you get when they came to you?
They said around 3 minutes each, but if they could stick around longer.
Okay, so it was first round was a poster type pitch. So they would have a poster up, the judges would come to them. They got 3 minutes to pitch to the judges, hoping to get to another round in a big auditorium. So that could be the type. Ayana, when you did WeBank, you got 5 minutes? It was a 5-minute pitch followed by Q&A. So that's what I'm saying. You can have different durations of pitch. Sometimes it's for prize money. Sometimes it's to get an investor. Sometimes it's, for a multitude of purposes. So let's talk. We can get him after if you want, Portia. Okay, thank you. That's fine. So we're going to look at the pitch section right now. Did you have a question?
Yeah,
Yes. I'm going to close this real quick. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that.
Coming back to the financial plan, how far it will help us to project our expected returns like gross margin, net margin, and so on?
I'm going to show you. Let me see. It wasn't on this. Is it on this one? It is on this one. Okay. So during the financials time that we did, all we looked at were individual single sources of revenue. We looked at single expenses and things like that. When you put it in here, it's actually fairly easy to do. We had put in 1, we had put in 2, we had put in 3. different sources of revenue. And then we looked at different expenses. As soon as you put in one expense and one revenue, it's going to start projecting for you. At that point, you know, you can continue to add all your items in there to see a realistic view. And then it will export all these different charts that maybe you might not understand. But Lydia from Truist understands them, right? So it'll help. Go ahead and have a seat. Welcome. It'll help you get all of this information. And then from there, you can run scenarios. For those who were here for the financial day, we were able to run a scenario of what if we already offer lipsticks. What if we also offered eyeshadow? Okay, perfect. So we did that. Let's see. Well, I'm not going to go through the scenario option right now, but you can put it in so that you can help make your best next decision. So what should you do next? Should you offer tours of a farm in addition to the farming, the export of the farm? Should you offer another product? Should you cut some kind of cost? You know, let's say I have a building. If I want to cut that building cost out of there because now I can do it somewhere else, you can run a scenario of what if I cut this cost and see how it comes up. Then what it does, you'll be able to look at it visually as well. And so when we first started, we had it all in the red. We had to figure out how to get it into, normally you call it the black, here it's the blue to do. But yes, so you can see different financial scenarios. And this part, so if I print it from here, now if I print this one, actually wait, after that. I'll go to my plan and I do a print. Now what it's going to do is it's going to include all that financial information that we put into it. So yes, it absolutely helps you with your financials. And then when it comes to doing the pitch, you're going to need to know some of the financials. I've sat through, I can't even tell you how many pitch competitions, how many pitches I've seen. And the part that trips them up almost every time is the money. Almost without fail. You can have the most confident person up here, but as soon as somebody starts poking at your numbers, everything falls apart. And so that's why you will have your numbers in a pitch. You will have some financial information. You want to give them just a taste during the pitch, unless it's a Shark Tank thing, then you have to have a lot more. But during the pitch, like a competition, you might give them just a little bit, and then they're going to ask questions. So now you can see if we go with this one, when we go all the way to the end, here's all those financials we were talking about. And again, it's going to print you, let's see, where are we at? We're at 18 of 47. So guess what's filling up the rest of this document? Financials. And I guarantee most of you are going to be like, I don't understand any of it. Or I only understand a little bit of it. Get with somebody and you know, we have mentors and we have people that help, such as Lydia from Truist Bank, who's sitting right in the middle of the room. By the way, I'm going to call her an ambassador now because she came here because we requested some help with, hey, what do you have for small businesses? And now we've seen her weekly. So, and now she's learning as well. So I feel like she's one of our ambassadors for the community, but she's also a resource for you because you can say, I don't know what this says. Can you explain it to me a little easier? You know, but you should know your numbers enough. I tell everybody you're not going to be an accountant, but you want to know enough to be able to speak intelligently to it and to make sure that your accountant doesn't rob you blind. If you don't know anything about your numbers, if you don't know anything about your numbers, that's a problem because somebody that does know about your numbers can change those numbers. Have you ever seen that? Okay, that's not a good thing. It's just, okay. So that's when we come with the financials and what can be done into the financials. All right, any other questions before I show you how easy it is to kind of write your pitch now? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go out of this one. And let's see. I'll keep it in this one. Why not? All right. We're gonna go to pitch. All right. Some of this was done for us, but we still have a lot to go. So we've added so much to this plan. It knows us fairly well. You saw how we did the first section where it just wrote paragraphs for you. Let's talk about in this one, we're going to use the same competitors. We're just going to use the same competitor area like we did before. Okay. So all we do, again, we're going to answer questions as we go. So we said, Dr. Teals. And how is my solution better? Ooh, good question. Because they're going to want to know this for sure. Even if I'm just going to a grocery store to get on the shelves, they want to know for sure why I'm better. All natural.
Dr. Allison,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
That means Dr. Teals is in the system, right?
Not necessarily, but AI will generate it enough. It does the research through the internet as well.
Can we write another name instead of Dr. Teals?
Can we write what?
Another name.
Another name.
Competitor.
Yes, we're gonna add multiple. This is just one that we're adding. So we're gonna say it's all natural and better scent. Okay, so let's save. I'm gonna add another one now. So this is where we do it another name. So we said Vicks before, and definitely a better smell than Vicks, and it's non-medicinal. Vicks is medicinal, right? Everybody thinks you're sick when you're going to use it.
What if we write Dr. Allison there?
I can try. I'll add it. Why not? Let's make the third competitor Dr. Allison. Should be fun. Why is my solution better than Dr. Allison? Tell me why it's better than me. How about it's just better name recognition? Okay. Oops, I don't want to capitalize it. No. Try that again. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to continue. Oh, goodness gracious. How much funding am I seeking? I'm going to go back. Actually, let's just go ahead and save that part. Let me go back to it. Because, all right. Oh, that did not do as well as I had hoped. But it's giving us the very quick breakdown of it. It does more of the long text like we saw in the plan. So I would want to do a better job on this section, but at least by doing the other section first, that told us who our competitors were. So much like, you said, what if I don't know my competitors? At least from that long section that's AI generated, we could use it. It's there. Okay. So ideally, you're going to do all of this for your pitch. And you have this for any slides or like, Damien with the poster, it could be on the poster. It's a very consolidated view of your business. And again, it's because you might only get 60 seconds. You might only get a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or you can get a whole half hour. One thing I will tell you, I've learned with pitching, and this was, we actually did a great session with a pitching coach. If you're given 30 minutes for a meeting, how much time do you think you should be presenting your product? I've been given 30 minutes. How much time do you think I should stand up there and pitch what I'm selling? Give me some guesses. I was gonna say, I don't know about you. You know the real answer. Hang on. 5 minutes. I heard 15, 10, 7. The answer I got was 7. And so when I was talking to the coach, I said, but they gave me a half hour. She says, no. The shorter the pitch, the better. I said, really? And she said, yeah, because first of all, and I learned this through doing pitches to a business that had different brands under it. So it's a grocery chain that has different brands. And I was told you have 3 meetings, all 3 of these people are interested in your products. And I had offered up 3 products. I said, well, do all 3 want all 3 products? Does one person want one, this one want a different? You don't get that information. So I thought, how in the world do I do this? So she was right. She hit the nail on the head because I pitched for only about 6 minutes and I gave an overview of everything. But right before I started, I learned this as I go, I would say, are you interested in all the products or should I highlight some of them a little bit more strongly? But then that kind of throws your pitch off a little bit. Like, ooh, I was ready to talk about that. Now I can't. And that led into this. So by pitching for only 6 to 7 minutes, that opened up the opportunity for her to ask me everything they want to know about the product they were really interested in. So, and then they went, oh, great, the other products are nice too. So that's pretty good, but I'm interested in this. The meeting still lasts 30 minutes. Yeah, it's still a 30-minute meeting, or even, maybe a few minutes less. Give them a little time to go. By the way, if you're ever pitching to a buyer, remember you're not the only product they've heard. Remember that you're probably not the only product that day. I've learned if you get a later time slot, you're getting that glazed over look from the buyer. So out of my 3 meetings, 2 said, yes, I'm interested. 1 didn't. Guess which one didn't? The one that was late in the day. I was off. She was off. It was just, my first morning, we're good. But even if I'm on a Thursday, they've heard pitches all week long. It's hard to blow anyone away with your products unless it is something outrageously different. So from what I've learned, buyer turnover is huge because they get burnt out really quickly. They hear pitches all day, every day. Their job is to say no to most people. And so when we, next, I promised, you got to come back because next year we're going to do a lot more when it comes to pitching and pitch practice, getting comfortable, standing up and saying, this is my business, this is what I do. Now ask me questions because that's when it really gets nerve-wracking. Okay, so does anybody have questions on this part?
I have
Yes.
a quick question.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Since it does help you create your pitch,
Mhm.
is there a way to create a smaller pitch? So say you only have the 30 or 60 seconds versus a 5-minute pitch
I
versus
haven't found that yet.
Okay.
I haven't found that capability, but right now, the way, if we're looking at this is 1 sentence, okay? I could probably do a pitch combining all the elements it has here and keep it under a minute. Or I could talk a lot and keep it even and expand on these things. So for instance, I could say my competitors are Dr. Teals, Vicks, and Dr. Allison, and then go into more of why I'm better. So no matter who you're pitching to, you're trying to convince them that you're better than all the other pitches they heard and what they currently have. If you're pitching to a store, you're going to replace somebody on the shelf. You have to tell them why they need to replace the shelf with you. Shelf space is very, she told me, one of the buyers said, I've got 4 foot by 4 foot to work with. In order to put you there, I have to kick somebody else off. Tell me why. And it's like, whoa, okay, all right. So in order to do that, this is what I'm saying, you should know your competitors as well as you know your own company, because you have to be able to say, we're better because. Never diss the competitor. Don't, but you want to show why you're better than them. But you don't put them down in any way. So it could be on price point, it could be on quality, it could be on your offerings, it could be on your market research. So when I go to a store and I look at the Bath and Body product area, I see what is on the shelves currently. Because first of all, I want to see if anybody's ahead of me with any new innovations, but I also want to see what are stores investing their time and money into doing. What I noticed when I went to some of these stores was, they have a good bit of bath bombs. Bath bombs take up a lot of space. They're very difficult to not have lost because people drop them and then they're destroyed. I had to talk about why, number 1, mine would be less loss. Number 2, why it would take up less space. And number 3, why bath bombs should be going away and shower steamers should be coming in instead. And the only reason I know that is because of my market research. So you need to know your competitors, not only by name, but by offerings, by trends, and how you're responding to all that.
Dr. Allison, sorry. Like what if like my business is a small scale in the local area? And will it consider like any business regardless like type and the like volume or expected turnover? Are there any limitations while preparing this business plan?
So if you plan, so one of the classes we talked about, you have to determine whether you want your business to be a lifestyle business or a scalable business.
Let's say a restaurant.
Okay? If you want to make it a large scalable business, you need to write it accordingly. Okay? If you want to have an independent, so I'm going to use Annette because she has a local restaurant. Okay? It's one small local restaurant. If she wants to keep it as a mom and pop operation, a small family feel type restaurant, she's going to write this business plan knowing that. If she wants to become the next McDonald's, she needs to write it according to that because it requires a lot different finances, a lot different marketing, a lot different operations. Everything has to be different. So you need to decide for yourself whether this is a scalable business or a lifestyle business. A lifestyle business pays for you to live. It's a nice living. A scalable business means you're looking at chains, you're looking at McDonald's, you're looking at all these great things. By the way, if you haven't seen The Foods That Built America on the History Channel, the mega brands that built America, I am hooked on these shows. It talks about the entrepreneurs and how they got to the point. Fantastic. Every time I watch it, I'm like, what do you mean McDonald's declared bankruptcy? The McDonald's brothers, or actually no, it was Colonel Sanders, declared bankruptcy and couldn't have a restaurant. So what did he do? He adapted and started selling his chicken through other restaurants. That's how he got started again. You watch these things, you're like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. You know, that like you see the ingenuity of entrepreneurs and how it started. Highly recommend. Right now they're doing the series also how Disney built America, but which, you know, for those of you who know me, I'm really into that. So.
Did you see the fight with McDonald's and Burger King?
The fight?
They were competing so much.
Yes, so they talk about how all the brands were built up, but you know, and there was actually two on McDonald's, if I'm not mistaken. The one I saw the other night was about how Ray Kroc made McDonald's what they made McDonald's. However, it was, you know, how it got there. Yeah. So yeah, I really recommend those shows because it just shows the ingenuity of entrepreneurs and how you have to adapt and keep going. It's fantastic. I don't even know how I got on that. Oh, you asked about a restaurant.
Would this be helpful if like the governor franchised my business?
Yes. Yes. So when it talks about things such as, goodness gracious, there are so many things in here, and then you can add more to your outline. So for instance, like when you're talking about your market growth, when you're talking about your, like, you can put all these things in. It starts with a very basic outline. But yes, you would want to say, this is our current operation. However, this is what we want to do. Here's what money is going to be needed. Here are the resources that are going to be needed, whatever it is. Yes. And you can constantly add to it. So even if you write it as what your business is right now, that's great. But then you go, okay, I think I want to franchise. You can start adding that to it as well. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so for those of you who don't have the software yet and you do want to have access, you just let me know. I set you up for free. No big, you know, it's easy to do. You can have it for free for as long as you need it. If you stop using it, after about a year, I might say, hey, I'm going to archive your company. It's still here. If you need me, I'll unarchive it the moment you need it, but that way we release a license for somebody else. Okay. All right, so I want to do a quick thing now, which I feel pretty good about doing this today, actually. So last week, y'all heard about, for those of you who were here with the Maryland Launch Fund, I know we've had some people apply now, which is fantastic. That's if you want to apply for your business anywhere from $2,000 to $50,000 in financing. Comes from the Maryland system. You put in that you're affiliated with us and you can apply. So I know we have applications now, which is great. The other part of the Maryland Launch Fund are micro grants. And so this year, they gave us $5,000 and we get to give micro grants. Now, to get the micro grant, you have to be affiliated still with UMES. Unfortunately, if you're not a student or an alum, and it actually has to be a really recent alum. It could be faculty, it could be staff. Current faculty and staff, very recent alums, and current students are eligible. And what we're able to do is give $500 micro grants. And these are used to start up the business in some way. Could be to form your legal structure because it costs money to file those. It could be to pay for some marketing, or maybe you want to get your logo done so you can end up on our wall. Well, I have resources, but they all cost money. You have to pay. So you get this money to use to get started, and then the hope is you get your business started, then you apply for the regular big grant, and you keep on going further. So with our micro grants this year, we got $5,000 to award. Annette, you were one of the recipients in the fall. Yes. Nicholas, who came in, by the way, if y'all weren't here, Nicholas has been with us for quite a while, working on a business. He's graduating this term, and he came in just to thank us and to wish everybody else well with their pursuit of the business, and then he left. So he was one of the recipients as well. We also have 2 staff members that were recipients in the fall, but we still have some money for spring. So we went through and we looked at who's been in attendance at our sessions, who has actively been working on their business plan, who did pitch competitions, who took it to the next level. We have a couple in the room. So $500 grants are going to Damien. Ayana. Deb. Right. Let me think. I'm missing a couple. Let me see if they're in here though. Hang on. Who we have? Ayana, Damien. Let's see. Shamir is not in here. He was also doing the pitch competition. He's been working on his financial business. Our recent graduate, Ebony Jenkins, the bug lady, is getting one as well. And as is Priscilla, who did the African garments. She was part of the WeBank competition. So she's been here every day but today. So we're happy to say that we do have those awards. So those who are getting the awards, come see me because I have some stuff we need to get from you. And then we'll get those processed. Good news, if you're still here from UMES, next year they upped it and we get $6,000. So that means a little bit more that we can award. Okay? We want you to come not just to get the money, but we want you to come to get the experience, to be able to get the tools, to get these businesses launched. I know he said he was just going to come to sit in the back today, but I can't do this without saying Mr. Tom Baxter is in the back of the room. Remember how I told you everything is free of charge due to generous donors? Mr. Baxter believed in this from the very beginning. I think we met when there was nothing here. A chair, one chair, a chair, sitting in a chair. How's that? That was all we had when he came in, and I said, this is what we want to do. These are the programmings we want to do. And he said, I will cover all programming for 3 years. You're here. Okay. So I have to say, this is our last session of the year. It's been our second academic year. It feels really, really good to be here and to see all you here. Definitely, if you want access and you need to make a business in LivePlan, come see me after. We'll get you set up now. Also, the 3 in the room that are getting the micro grants, we'll need to get some information from you. Are there any other questions? Oh, yes.
Sorry, I'm referring to our participants. Is it possible to listen to the winner's business plan in short, maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes?
I bet you we could do a 1-minute pitch. Oh, but what did they do? They just got put on the spot. You don't have to do it as a formal pitch. If you just want to say what your business idea is, please stand and project so we all hear you. Damien, we'll start with you.
My business idea is Leo Spa. What I'm looking to do is to purchase a hotel and renovate the inside, turning them to suites available for rent for people who do lashes, hair, nails, waxing. So imagine you can get all that done in one place. The reason I'm trying to do this is because a lot of the times, Black women, when they provide these type of services, they have to provide them out of their homes, and you miss out on a lot of the necessary paperwork that you would need to take to a bank to say, hey, this is my business, I need a loan to grow. So they miss out on a lot of that paperwork. So what I'm doing is bringing them and setting them up in an actual physical location they can work out of, showing them how to fill out that paperwork. Once they get that paperwork, they can go get business loans and grow their business.
All right, Diana, I know this is your favorite part.
So hi y'all, I'm Ayana. So my business idea basically is it's like a shop, but you can come and create your own beauty products such as like lip glosses, lipsticks, soaps, body butters. Just we don't really know what you want to store and what's in your product, and you might like different things. So you're able to create your own beauty products to fit your needs and take to what you need.
All right, Devin, we've never had you pitch, but please.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna try this. Okay. I started a home baking business during the pandemic. And now I have added foods, other treats, and I've been getting a lot of customers by word of mouth to cater and just do a lot of baking. So I can't continue to bake at home because I've outgrown my own kitchen. So I'm looking for a small space where I can do baking and things on the weekend. So I came here and learned some things. So I'm finishing up my business plan, and hopefully I can start my small business on weekends and see where it goes from there.
Very good. Very good. Now, on Thursday of this week, we don't have any, it's not a drop-in, and we don't have any lecturing going on. It's a time to come in and celebrate everybody in this room. So we're just gonna have a little get together. So if you'd like to come in on Thursday, we're still gonna do it at the 11 o'clock hour, but it's very informal. There'll just be, some snacks and things like that, but come in. We can, by all means, we can talk about your business all day. You can talk about your business to each other, but it's just a little networking celebration event that we're gonna have. Are there any other questions? Oh, Kevin, what did I say to please remind me? Did I hit everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everyone's signed in with CoWorks, so if you haven't gotten access to that, make sure you stop over to the kiosk so we get you logged in.
Yep. CoWorks is where we put all of the information. We got very lucky